So as we said, we want to take this into the Navisworks and assess the small collision that we have, and then come back and do the rest of these. But you should always remember to do this and assess every part of the project after you're done with it. For example, if I've done the water and the sewage and the vents, because they're done with the same priority, after you're done with these, get the structure and architecture of them and take it to the Navisworks. Then you have to assess and resolve the issues at Navisworks and then come back to the modeling. This is done when the AutoCAD file that you received is either approved or under revision. But unfortunately, the plans that you normally received aren't revisions, and even while you're working on a plan, you might receive 2 new revisions, and this completely messes up your plan. But if you're working with a plan that's approved, you can use this method and progress system by system. And the good thing is the Navisworks is already installed in our system. And of course, after we're done with the mechanical parts, we'll talk about Navisworks even more. But for now, let's get a quick check in the Navisworks so I can demonstrate some things. So we have 2 link files which you should try to export to the Navisworks individually. If you try to import them at the same time, you might run into some issues. For now, I'll open up the visibility graphics menu and I'll make sure that we don't have any filters on for now and all of our mechanical systems are on. I'll go over here and uncheck the Revit links parts as well, and then we go to the add-ins tab. When you're installing the program, always make sure to install the Revit before the Navisworks, because while you're installing the files and you want to run the plugins, first you need to have the Revit installed, and otherwise it won't install the Navisworks. While you're installing the Navisworks, it automatically detects the Revit file and it says yes to installing the file. So I'll click on the Navisworks here, and now it wants us to put in a path. I'll put in the directory that we have for the training files over here in the beam course and the mechanical folder. And in the files folder itself, I'll create another folder named Navisworks. Alright, then I'll open this folder up and then save the file inside of it. Now, before you hit save, make sure to open up the Navisworks settings from down here and get a quick check here as well. Now here you can see the different settings that we have: the convert conduction parts and the elements parameters, which we have on all, and the properties, which we'll have on. We don't need the lights. We don't need to import the link cat file, so we'll uncheck that box. Then the convert link files is about the architectural and mechanical files that we have over here. You can uncheck this box as well, because we can do this separately. Then I'll uncheck the next box as well. We'll keep the URLs and put the coordinates on shared. Keep this as well and put the export based on the current view. And then I'll uncheck the room geometry as well. And then the next part is the facing factor. So when you use any applications for the Navisworks, for example, let's assume that we have a here which I can paint here. The Navisworks recognizes these based on mesh. Mesh means it's taken out of the polygon shape and recognized as the triangular shape that it gets. So each side is shaped triangularly. Now the number that we have on the facing factor is the amount of the division that it takes in the mesh. The higher the number, the more the divisions, the smaller the pieces that we get. So this side, for example, is divided like this, and then each of these is divided into 2 triangles. Now, where is this useful for us? It's useful when we have circular shapes such as this, where it could be a pipe. So the facing factor is on 1 as a preset. Imagine that we have 2 pipes next to each other and the facing factor is set on 1. And so these two pipes will be shown in a form of broken lines instead of circular in the Navis works. If these two pipes have any collision points in the Revit file, imagine them being two pipes like this, and if the facing factor is set on 1, they'll have broken lines, and if there are any collision points, we'll see them divided and a gap appearing in the middle, and it doesn't identify this as a clash. You should also note that if you increase the number, it takes longer time to process the shapes. For now, I'll leave it be on 5, which is not too much. And then after this, we go over to the model and the performance sections. This box here isn't checked as a preset, so make sure to check it. When you check this box, there's a possibility of switchback between the Navis works and the Revit. So we could possibly resolve the clash and then revert it back to Revit or Navis works once again. So then I'll hit OK and save it. After this, I'll save the mechanics and the structures individually, just so I can insert them together easier and assess the clashes